Imagine for a moment that your body has a silent guardian. A small, leaf-shaped organ tucked deep behind your stomach that works 24 hours a day to regulate your blood sugar and help you digest every single bite of food you eat. This is your pancreas. It is one of the most hard-working yet mysterious organs in the human body. But here is the terrifying reality. Because the pancreas is buried so deep in the abdomen, when something goes wrong, it often suffers in silence. Pancreatic cancer has earned a reputation as a quiet threat because its early warning signs are so subtle, so easily dismissed as common indigestion or a simple backache, that many people don't realize there is a problem until the situation has progressed significantly. However, your body is incredibly intelligent. It is constantly sending out tiny signals, whispers of distress that if caught early enough can change everything. Today we are going to pull back the curtain on 8 symptoms of pancreatic cancer that might truly shock you. We aren't talking about the obvious signs everyone knows. We are looking at the strange, the unexpected, and the easily overlooked indicators that your pancreas is crying out for help. From sudden changes in your skin to mysterious digestive issues that seem to come out of nowhere, we are going to break down exactly what you need to look for. This isn't about causing fear. It is about empowering you with the knowledge to listen to your body's quietest whispers. If you want to take control of your long-term health and learn how to spot a threat before it becomes a crisis, let us get straight into these 8 shocking symptoms. The first symptom on our list is one of the most misunderstood and frequently ignored: persistent abdominal pain that radiates to your back. Now, we all get backaches from time to time, maybe from sleeping the wrong way or lifting something heavy. But pancreatic discomfort has a very specific character, because the pancreas sits right in front of the spine. A growing mass can press against the nerves surrounding it. This often manifests as a dull, gnawing ache in the upper abdomen that feels like it is pushing straight through to the middle or lower back. Many people describe it as a feeling of internal pressure. What makes this a shocking symptom is that the pain often changes based on your posture. You might find that the ache intensifies when you lie down flat on your back, but strangely feels a little bit better when you lean forward or curl into a fetal position. This positional change happens because leaning forward physically moves the stomach and other organs away from the pancreas. And you notice this strange connection to how you sit or stand. It is time to look deeper than just muscle strain. Moving to our second symptom, we encounter something truly unexpected: the sudden onset of type 2 diabetes in adulthood, especially if you have no family history of the condition. We usually think of diabetes as a lifestyle or genetic issue. But remember, one of the primary jobs of the pancreas is to produce insulin. Insulin is the key that unlocks your cells so they can use sugar for energy. When cells in the pancreas are affected by a growth, they can stop producing enough insulin, or the body can suddenly become resistant to it. If you are over the age of 50, you maintain a healthy weight, you eat a balanced diet, and suddenly your blood sugar levels spike out of nowhere. It is a massive red flag. Doctors often see cases where a new diabetes diagnosis was actually the very first clinical sign that the pancreas was struggling. It is not just about the sugar, it is about the factory that manages the sugar. If the factory starts failing, the first thing you see is a rise in glucose. Never dismiss a sudden change in your metabolic health as just a quirk of aging. It is a direct message from your internal organs. The third shocking symptom is something you might notice in the bathroom, and while it is not a pleasant topic, it is a vital one: changes in your stool, specifically what doctors call steatorrhea. The pancreas produces powerful enzymes that break down fats. If the pancreatic duct becomes blocked by a growth, those enzymes can't reach your intestines. As a result, the fat in your food passes through your system completely undigested. This creates stool that is unusually pale, oily, and has a very strong, foul odor. One of the most telling signs is that this oily stool will often float and be very difficult to flush away. You might also notice a greasy film on the surface of the water. Many people mistake this for a simple bout of food poisoning or a reaction to a greasy meal. But if it becomes a regular occurrence, it means your digestive machinery is broken. Your body isn't absorbing the nutrients it needs, because the pancreas is being prevented from doing its job. This is a clear physical manifestation of a blockage that needs immediate investigation. Next, we have the fourth symptom, which is a subtle change in the color of your skin and the whites of your eyes, known as jaundice. Now, most people think jaundice is only a liver problem, but the pancreas and the liver are neighbors that share a very important pipe called the common bile duct. This duct carries bile from the liver into the small intestine. If a growth at the head of the pancreas presses against this duct, the bile gets backed up. Bile contains a yellow substance called bilirubin. When it can't escape into the intestine, it overflows into your bloodstream and eventually settles in your skin and eyes, giving them a yellowish tint. But here is the part that many find shocking. Before you even see the yellow color, you might feel an intense all-over skin itchiness that has no obvious cause, like a rash or an allergy. This itch is caused by the bile salts building up under your skin. Additionally, you might notice that your urine becomes very dark, almost the color of cola, while your stool becomes light and clay-colored. This triad of yellowing skin, dark urine, and pale stool is one of the most definitive signs that something is obstructing your biliary system. The fifth symptom is one that often gets masked by our busy lives: unexplained and rapid weight loss combined with a total loss of appetite. We live in a culture where losing weight is often celebrated. So many people don't see this as a problem at first. However, in the context of pancreatic issues, this weight loss is not caused by dieting or exercise. It happens for two reasons. First, as we mentioned earlier, the lack of digestive enzymes means your body is literally starving because it can't absorb calories from the food you eat. You could be eating a full meal, but the nutrients are simply passing through you. Second, the energy demands of a growing mass in the body can ramp up your metabolism in an unhealthy way, burning through your fat and muscle stores. Many patients report that they suddenly find the idea of food, particularly meat or fried foods, completely unappealing. You might feel full after only a few bites, a condition called early satiety. If the numbers on the scale are dropping without any effort on your part, and you find yourself pushing away plates of food you used to love, your body is sounding an alarm that you cannot afford to ignore. Symptom number 6 is quite mysterious and can often lead people to a dermatologist instead of a general practitioner: sudden, migratory blood clots. There is a strange phenomenon called Trousseau's syndrome, where blood clots begin to form in the deep veins of the legs, arms, or other parts of the body, and then seem to disappear only to pop up somewhere else. A growing mass in the pancreas can release certain chemicals that make the blood hypercoagulable or more prone to clotting. You might experience redness, swelling, and pain in one leg, which are signs of a deep vein thrombosis. What is shocking is that for some people, a blood clot is actually the very first symptom they ever experience. If you are not a smoker, you haven't been on a long flight, and you have no reason to be developing clots, it is essential to ask why your blood chemistry has suddenly changed. Clots are a serious signal that something is happening within the body's internal environment that shouldn't be. The 7th symptom is one that affects your mental well-being: sudden onset of depression or anxiety that precedes any physical symptoms. This sounds like it belongs in a psychology book, not a cancer discussion, but the link between the pancreas and mood is scientifically documented. Researchers have found that pancreatic issues can trigger systemic inflammation or hormonal changes that interact directly with the brain's chemistry. Many people who are later diagnosed with a pancreatic condition look back and realize they felt a profound sense of doom, intense anxiety, or a heavy depression months before they ever felt physical pain or saw jaundice. Because we tend to stay in our own silos of health, meaning we see a therapist for mood and a doctor for the body, the connection is often missed. If you have always been an emotionally stable person and you suddenly feel a dark cloud overhead that doesn't seem linked to your life circumstances, it might be your body's way of signaling that something is biologically wrong. Finally, the 8th symptom is a persistent feeling of nausea or vomiting, especially after eating. This happens because a growth in the pancreas can physically press on the far end of the stomach, partially blocking the path of food. This creates a backup, leading to a feeling of being bloated, sick to your stomach, or even episodes of vomiting that don't have the typical stomach flu symptoms like a fever. This is often misdiagnosed as acid reflux or a simple ulcer. But if you find that medications for reflux aren't helping, and the nausea is becoming a daily part of your life, it is a sign that the physical space in your abdomen is being compromised. The stomach is a flexible organ, but it can only handle so much external pressure before it starts to reject what you put into it. Understanding these 8 symptoms is the first step toward proactive health management. The pancreas is an organ that demands respect. It sits at the absolute center of your metabolic and digestive universe. When we ignore these signs, we are essentially ignoring the conductor of our body's orchestra. But why is it so hard to catch these things early? Part of the problem is that we are taught to push through minor discomfort. We live in a world of take an antacid and keep going. But your health is your most valuable asset, and it is built on a foundation of awareness. When you look at these symptoms together, the back pain, the blood sugar spikes, the digestive changes, the itching, the weight loss, the clots, the mood shifts, and the nausea, You see a picture of a system in distress. Individually, these can be many things, but when they appear in combination, or when they persist for more than a couple of weeks, they form a pattern that requires professional attention. Doctors use high-tech imaging like CT scans, MRIs, and endoscopic ultrasounds to look at the pancreas, but they can only order those tests if you provide them with the right information. You are the only person who is in your body 24 hours a day. You are the primary investigator of your own health. It is also important to talk about risk factors. While anyone can be affected, we know that smoking is one of the biggest contributors to pancreatic stress. Long-term inflammation of the pancreas, known as chronic pancreatitis, is another. Obesity and a diet high in processed fats also put an extra burden on this delicate organ. By addressing these lifestyle factors, you are essentially giving your pancreas a break, allowing it to function with less friction. But even with a perfect lifestyle, things can still happen, which is why symptom awareness is the ultimate safety net. Let us discuss the concept of metabolic health. The pancreas is the bridge between your food and your energy. When that bridge is compromised, every other system in your body starts to wobble. This is why the symptoms are so diverse. It's not just an abdominal issue, it's a total body issue. This is why you see skin changes, mood changes, and blood changes. It is a reminder that we are not a collection of separate parts, but a perfectly integrated machine. When one gear slows down, the whole machine feels the friction. If you or a loved one are experiencing any of these symptoms, the advice is simple: don't wait. We often wait for a symptom to become unbearable before we seek help. But in the world of internal health, unbearable is often a late-stage signal. We want to catch the annoying stage, the odd stage, and the unexplained stage. A conversation with your doctor about a sudden change in stool or an unexplained backache is never a waste of time. It is a vital part of your long-term wellness strategy. There is also a psychological barrier to some of these symptoms, like the changes in stool or the yellowing of the skin. People often feel embarrassed to discuss these things, but to a medical professional, these are just data points. They are clues in a detective story. There is no room for embarrassment when it comes to your life and your longevity. Being open and honest about every strange thing you notice in your body is the best gift you can give your medical team. Another point to consider is the role of family history. If you know that your parents or grandparents had issues with their pancreas or certain types of cancers, your baseline for concern should be higher. Genetic counseling and regular checkups can be part of a proactive plan. We live in an era where we can map our risks with incredible precision. Use that technology to your advantage. Knowledge isn't just power, it is protection. The goal of this discussion is not to make you live in fear every time you have a stomach ache. The goal is to move from unconscious living to conscious observation. When you know what the warning lights on your dashboard mean, you don't panic when one flickers. You simply take the car to the shop. Your body is much more complex and precious than any car. It deserves at least the same level of attention when a warning light comes on. Think about the people in your life. Often we notice changes in others before they notice them in themselves. If you see a friend who has suddenly lost a lot of weight, or someone whose eyes look a bit dull or yellow, or a family member who is suddenly struggling with their mood and appetite, don't be afraid to speak up. A gentle observation like, "I've noticed you haven't been your usual self lately. Maybe it's worth a checkup," can be a life-changing intervention. We are guardians for each other as well as ourselves. The science of managing pancreatic health is evolving every single day. New treatments, better surgical techniques, and more precise diagnostic tools mean that we have more reasons for hope than ever before. But all of that technology depends on one thing: early detection. The earlier a problem is found, the more options there are to manage it effectively. The shocking symptoms we discussed today are the keys to that early detection. As we go through our lives, our bodies are constantly talking to us. They tell us when we are tired, when we are hungry, and when we are stressed. But they also tell us when there is a deeper mechanical issue. Learning the language of your organs is a skill that pays dividends for the rest of your life. The pancreas may be hidden deep inside, but its influence is everywhere. Protect it, listen to it, and respect the signals it sends. To recap our journey today, we looked at 8 critical symptoms: the back radiating abdominal pain, the sudden diabetes, the oily and floating stool, the jaundice and itching, the unexplained weight loss and loss of appetite, the migratory blood clots, the sudden depression or anxiety, and the persistent nausea. These are your body's ways of saying, "Wait, look at me, something is wrong." If any of this resonates with you, make that appointment. Be your own best advocate. Living a long, healthy life is about more than just luck. It is about the intersection of science, lifestyle, and awareness. By taking the time to learn about these subtle signals, you are proving that you value your future. You are taking a stand for your health. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and the journey of long-term health begins with a single moment of attention to a symptom you might have otherwise ignored. The pancreas is an incredible organ. It works silently in the dark, managing the chemistry of your life. It deserves a little bit of your time and focus. Give it the care it needs by paying attention to the signals we discussed. Remember, your body doesn't speak in English, it speaks in biology. It uses pain, color, and function to get your attention. When you understand the language, you can take action. Thank you for spending this time to learn about these 8 shocking symptoms. It shows that you are serious about your well-being. Share this knowledge with your friends and family. You never know who might be silently suffering from a backache or a digestive issue, wondering what is happening. Your awareness could be the light that helps them find the answer. Stay curious about your health, stay proactive, and always listen to what your body is trying to tell you. In the fast-paced world we live in, it is easy to forget about the quiet work going on inside us. But every few months, take a moment of stillness. Check in with your body. How is your energy? How is your digestion? Are there any new aches or pains? This self-reflection is the best preventative medicine there is. Your pancreas and your entire body will thank you for it in the decades to come. Stay healthy, stay alert, and don't let these symptoms go unnoticed. You have the power to change your health story by simply paying attention. Your body is a masterpiece, and you are its curator. Take care of it, and it will take care of you. We are all on this journey of health together, and knowledge is the map that helps us navigate. Take these 8 shocking symptoms and store them in your mental library. They are pieces of a puzzle that, when put together, give you a clearer picture of your internal world. Remember that doctors are your partners in this. When you go in with a list of specific observed symptoms like "I noticed my stool is floating," or "I feel better when I lean forward during this backache," you are making it so much easier for them to help you. You are giving them the evidence they need to solve the mystery. Be a high-level collaborator in your own medical care. The road to wellness is paved with awareness. By finishing this discussion, you have increased your health IQ significantly. You are now part of the small percentage of people who understand the hidden signals of the pancreas. Use this knowledge wisely. Watch over yourself and those you love. And most importantly, never forget that even the quietest organ can have a very loud voice if we only know how to listen. Thank you once again for your focus and your commitment to health education. Our bodies are amazing, and the more we learn, the more we can appreciate the miracle of life. Keep learning, keep watching, and stay well. Your future is bright when you are informed. Let these 8 symptoms be a reminder of the power of prevention and the beauty of a body that is well cared for. Be the hero of your own health journey, every single day.